Good, I guess it's afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, early afternoon. Lounging with Lisa, the video series that has me lounging while coming at you with thoughts of the day. Not wearing my pearls. Okay, I'm getting a Lounger of the Week request done right now. It's from my dear sweet Jason M. of Up the Road, PA. And he got with me and it said that he doesn't really look at a lot of news. Excellent. Very good so far, Jason. Try to avoid it like the plague. I didn't used to do that. In fact, I got the idea from your husband to just quit watching the darn news. So, anyhow, I do catch up with the happenings of the day. He wanted me to let him know what some good outlets would be that, aren't spinny, they aren't left, they aren't right, they aren't whatever. A word about that before I launch into my recommendations, which I wrote down some and stuff. Okay, speaking as a person who used to be completely brainwashed by Fox News, I can tell you that, like when I left Fox News and even went to another corporate media outlet like CNN, it just sounded super duper what many would label to be liberal or way out there to me because, I was used to it. I was in like that Overton window, you know what that is in terms of politics where it shifts, and I'm not going to get into that right now. I did a video about it like last year. At any rate, I couldn't help but notice when you're used to something big time and all of a sudden you're exposed to something else that isn't following that particular line of reasoning, I guess. It seems really wild. So some of these might seem weird, although I don't peg you as any kind of corporate news person. I don't look at any corporate news. None. Whatsoever. So let me just get that out of the way first. I got away from all that jazz, starting with Fox and then with all of them, because just let me know the last time, say, Noam Chomsky was interviewed on any of the corporate media outlets, or Max Blumenthal, or Seymour Hersh, an award-winning journalist, or Glenn Greenwald even. I think he's actually been on Fox. Sometimes Fox has some good things. Don't leap on me wildly. Okay. So, Jason, this is what I usually do. I wrote down a few things here. And I don't want you to clutch pearls, but RT, which has been demonized and actually had to register as a foreign agent, literally. I do like some of the shows on RT, okay? Now, keep in mind that, of course, RT does not necessarily go after their own government. Like, they don't get on there and bash Vladimir Putin or any of that. Very similar to what the mainstream media does here. Well, not anymore. They're really bashing Donald Trump, but not the system itself. It's different to bash like a personality as compared to the system. So, however, they have some really good presenters over at RT that really show us what's happening in the world, and they, provide sources and do a good job. For an overall news, actually, that Ed Schultz, he used to be over at MSNBC years ago. Hold on a minute, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, I felt like I had like a tickly in my throat. Excuse my bad head. Ed Schultz used to be on 6 o'clock at MSNBC, and he was actually let go. And one of the reasons was because, which one was it? He was exposing the TPP, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, and speaking out against it. Plus, he's anti-war. Anybody who doesn't go along with the system is generally let go over there, including Phil Donahue was let go whenever the lead up to the Iraq war. He was speaking out against it. They got rid of all the people there. In fact, Jesse Ventura, a person who is on RT now, I recommend that. He had a contract with MSNBC, was fixing to start, and they got with him and somehow asked if he was pro or against war, and he's against it. And they did not let him have the show. Oh, I gotta bring this computer back up. They paid him for his 3 years that he was supposed to be under contract, and he wasn't allowed to do anything else in that time because he was anti-war. This is how this works. It's against the system. I mean, anybody against the system and against war. Okay, moving on to my recommendations. All right. Okay, RT. Some of the people over there, like Ed Schultz, would be your overall news guy. Okay. Then there's a gentleman, he's a kid, called Lee Camp. Lee Camp, Redacted Tonight is the show. He does a real good job at exposing all the stuff that our corporate media does not expose. things in the war zones, what's really going on in Palestine, Israel, all kinds of things. He's very good. And he interviewed Max Blumenthal recently, stuff like that. So, who else did I write down? Chris Hedges has a show there. He's a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist, I'm almost sure. He worked at the New York Times during the lead up to the Iraq War, and he was actually over there. He was the Mideast correspondent, kind of let people know what was really happening. And for that, I don't think he got fired, but they put a lot of pressure on him, and he quit that gig. So he has a place at RT. Larry King, of all people, is over at RT, but I don't really get into him. So I have Lee Camp as an overview of the news. Chris Hedges more or less focuses on one issue a week, maybe, like voting irregularities or something, and he'll have people on and that kind of thing. So moving along, if you aren't comfortable with going to RT, I like the Real News Network out of Baltimore. It's Paul Jay is the senior editor. He's Canadian originally. I don't know if he converted to be an American citizen or not, but the Real News Network out of Baltimore gives a nice overview of the news, and then they have specialty interviews as well. So those are actual news outlets that I look at. I don't get glued to this stuff all the time. What I've done, the next one I'm going to recommend, is really a tremendous overview. He does a daily recap of the news that's unfolding, and he is so good. I'm going to quit lounging as much. My hair's cracking me up. Anyhow, this channel on YouTube is called The Last American Vagabond. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. I get distracted by my dippy hairdo, so I thought I'd do this. The Last American Vagabond. Super good. Usually his segments are 15 to 30 minutes in the evening, and he does a daily wrap-up of what's going on. He does not carry the water. In fact, for either team, that's what I mean. In fact, he usually starts by just saying, blah, 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 and they're doing this to keep people fighting in that left-right paradigm that doesn't exist, and he's really good. That's who I really am recommending here, is The Last American Vagabond. You'll have to look for him on YouTube. He's real good, and he has a website as well. Sometimes they also get into the alternative research in terms of those who really rule the world or want to, what I call the hidden hand, or the Illuminati and all that. He has a website where different authors have put their detailed reports on there. So that was good. I didn't even know that till last week or something. I got heavily involved in reading some of the articles over there. So that's what I recommend. In terms of print, there's a place that I noticed a lot of the alternative outlets that I like, they use it as a reference, their reporters and whatnot. It's called Zero Hedge. Mike Rivera uses them, as well as The Last American Vagabond, several people. It's a pretty good outlet. As is, there was something else. FAIR, F-A-I-R, Fairness and Accuracy in Reporting. And Max Blumenthal's site, which, oh dear, I'm going to have to go, because I forgot. Alternet is what it's called. I think his particular area of Alternet might have to do with the, it might be called something about the gray zone project or something. Also, this just came to mind as I was saying that. Now it's gone out of my head. Truth Stream Media, I think, is pretty good. There's some good reporters over there. And, of course, in terms of reporters, there's Max Blumenthal, Glenn Greenwald, Seymour Hersh. You remember him.